Thanks for the reminder. It's really important. All right, so in the day2 folder, you have this voids and zip, unzip it, and then bring it to your script. All right, I was suggesting in the future, just make a separated folder for different packages like circle, packing, or voids. You can actually create subfolders like voids, and it won't affect or break anything. Okay. All right, so right click, create empty, reset, voids. In this voids script, let's connect this one. There are some bunch of stuff here. Let's put a prefab. Okay, so the first one, obviously the agent count, neighbor radius, and separation radius is separated. This neighbor radius determines the alignment and cohesion, and is using separated. So actually, it's a better practice. Different radiuses for cohesion, alignment, and separation. As you remember, separation needs to be a smaller radius, right? It needs to be the biggest radius. But it still works with at least 2. And then this one actually leaves trails. So I'm gonna turn this off and show you what this is. So if you start this, it's, oops. 0 shouldn't be a 0. So I'm gonna replace 1. Okay. So it's doing really slowly. And then let's different things. We can change the separation radius, alignment strength, cohesion, separation. And you can always have more controls. We can make this faster. We can do that later. All right, and then this trail actually is helping you to make some trails. So if I change this to 50, in every 50, it's actually adding, leaving a new file. So let me change this number to be bigger. So you see it's leaving a trail. So basically it's just instantiating every frame, but you don't have to do that. But like this is just an example of being able to generate different geometry clusters. Okay, let's have a look at the script, see what else we can modify. Okay, so basically this is what I need you guys to have as a skill set, which is something that you see this kind of thing, and then you know in general what are what, modify it. So okay, void system agent. Okay, this is called agents instead of void agent, but that's fine. Okay, so let me just quickly explain. So this agent count is passed to void system, right? So in the void system, when it's getting created, it's creating this much amount of void agents in this random position. So these two things determine the first initial starting points, right? So do you see that the first starting points were on the ground? Why is that? It's because this one was lower, right? So help yourself to use these two positions to like help yourself to set some starting points. And this is actually the initial velocity, which I think when you do, like for example, let's say if we want to make a skyscraper, then you want them to start from bottom and maybe grow upwards, for example, or column, right? So the initial velocity and initial point is important. So what should be the initial starting point? Up vector, right? Correct? So I'm going to use vector 3 dot up vector. And the starting point, I'm gonna start like totally from ground maybe, or maybe like lower. So it's going to start from around 30 by 30 shallow. So it's not a volume to start. And then I want this to grow. Let's see how it goes. And then let's see if we can also work with the speed. Right now it's super. So let's have a look. In general, the speed is determined here. The velocity, but the velocity is timing a very small number here. You see that? So we are going to use this, make this into a global variable. You're okay? Okay. So I'm going to need a global variable for the speed. Okay. So void system, in the void system, let's make a public float global speed. I can start from very small, 001 by default, and then use this in the agent. Say void system dot, what was that? Global speed. That makes sense? Okay, go to void system. And then we need to link this to a global variable in the void. So go back to the main menu where we are controlling the interface. And then here, public float global speed, and give a value of 001 F. Control C this. Actually, we need to go back to void system and update the global speed. So you already see a bunch of them are happening here. Control C, Control V is void dot global speed. Control S. Is this okay? Understood? Okay. Now you are ready to control the speed. Control S. Okay, now their starting point was up and they're going up. And I can now change the speed to be faster. Oh, that was too fast. Okay, I can actually start from this speed and the interval. Let's look at the trail of, so we can turn on and off the trail as well. Okay, now it's growing up. Now if I add a number there, it grows. Awesome. Okay, and I want everybody to practice the repeller and a tracker here, and being able to control that with maybe slider or in the screen. Okay, so you want to generate some interesting geometries with this method, but having the tracker and repeller to control it. All right. You can also set up different position and different types of geometries, and you can change the first growing starting point. All right. Do try to control with this script. Let's just fix one more thing here. Okay, in the boys, what is this? Yeah, when you instantiate it, let's put them in the parent. So let's see where is the instantiation happening. So set up geo, when you instantiate them, let's put them inside. So it's not in the hierarchy. So say this dot transform. So it's on. Okay, let's have a look where the trail interval is affected. So on every other frame instantiate. Okay, then I'm gonna give another control. I'm gonna give another if condition to give a Boolean. So if I want the trail or not, okay, which is end, then I'm gonna say Boolean trail on, let's say. So go set up a global variable public Boolean trail on. The default is false. Control S. So now you have this option, and then we can still keep the trail at 100. And then I can start creating trails. And then these trails are not in the void's parents, so we are gonna fix that. So go down in the trail making, it's instantiating inside this transform. Is this modification? You know where I'm going? Okay, now I'm creating a weird tower, and I wish maybe the interval was smaller, so I'm gonna make it into 50. But here's one more thing. So if you want to render this, right, or you want to bring this to ZBrush, but I'm gonna make a new one with less control. Okay, so let me show you how to bake this. Okay, cool. If I like it, I go down here, or just make sure that you don't select the lights and camera and stuff, or you can turn this off, then drag the geometry. So for exporting this, you have to select the geometry, not the parent or empty object. So that's the thing. So in order to do that, we need one external plugin. So let's go to Windows, go to Package Manager. It's not in the Package Manager, it's in the Asset Store. So let's bring that in. So go to Windows, Asset Store, and here it's going to get you open search online. This used to be a browser, but it kind of changed to this. So you want to make a login of yourself. This is the Asset Store. You have a bunch of useful packages. Okay. All right. So I'm going to search for something called OBJ export or wavefront. Let's see what is the search word for that, because I have it export. It's not this one. Let me see if it's OBJ exporter. Then let's see if there are multiple suggestions. This one, it's called Scene OBJ Exporter, and it's free. Use this one. Maybe there are some other exporters better, but this one is free. Open in Unity. Open Unity editor. And it's going to open it for you here. I have already downloaded, so you need to download this first and then also import it. I'm gonna import. So check everything and say import. And say yes. And then you can close it. So you see that there are more stuff added here, but you don't have to worry about it, and you don't want to share the, oh, it's added here. So that's why when you exchange your packages with your teammates, you don't need to change stuff. But you want to tell your teammates that install this package. All right, let's go back. And then go to File. And then you see this export now and wavefront OBJ. Now you have this option. All right. So I'm going to play the game again. Then I'm going to create some trails. Because if you stop the game, completely close don't have this geometry anymore, right? So what you can do is actually you can, while you are posing, what I normally Control C this, and then close the game, and then Control V. So I can have this even if I don't have the game. And then what you need to do is you need to scrap this void script, because otherwise two void system running. So you can just right click and delete it. So remove component. So this is voids, okay? So output 0, 1, and you can have multiple outputs, and maybe you can have some comparison. And then, okay, now make sure that you have this icon off so you don't select anything else. Select these. I'm gonna just check with few of them first because I don't want to crash. File, X, wavefront, and then only selected objects. Then say export, and then Unity exporter test column dot obj, save. Okay, then I'm gonna use this to have a look. I have this display too, don't worry about it. Okay. Now you wanna play around with it. So import, sorry, I'm gonna place a geometry and then import column. Edit. Then can go to perspective. Why is it not rotating? Oh, I was pressing Alt. Okay, so you can actually do something like Z measure or Dynamesh. You can Dynamesh it and then Z measure, make it to half size. So do kind of try different geometries, different orientation, clusters, aggregation. And let me show you how to import a model to Unity. So you replace with your model for this thing. Why is it so slow? Okay, while waiting, I'm gonna turn on Rhino. I can just skip this. I can always move it with geometry, deformation, smooth it. or the yeah, just do whatever you want to make a interesting geometry to play with. Where's spiral? Spiral. Right, spiral. I don't know. Something fun, you know? And then we can export this. ZBrush. And also just save renderings from here as well. You can also change color, like different colors. ZBrush is pretty strong. And then you can also, well, I wasn't planning to cover ZBrush at all. So you can save images from here and you can make it, I kind of forgot. I will cover this in another time about ZBrush, but maybe you already know a little bit. Okay. Yeah, but to have it, you can import this. And it should be a nice and clean model. And what we want to do is, well, firstly, look at this scalelessly. But if anybody is interested in robot printing this, scale matters. So it has to be this big. But I'm not going to talk about scale yet. All right. But if you can make some nice render or screenshots, it will be great. So I like sometimes, so I'm gonna turn off the mesh wires. Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna go to the render. This doesn't look very nice, so I'm going to turn off the grid. And then I'm going to make a mesh, sorry, everything. Mesh outline, still last. Curve, yes. Mesh outline. Still last. Okay, maybe this is too complex. But I'm sure you have different to make a nice render or nice diagram. But what I wanted to kind of show this. I think something is missing in my display, but you know, mesh outline, if you do mesh outline, you get a outline of silhouette, and then you can use print display, and then make sure that it's on, and then you can set thickness of this here in display in print width. Then let's make this one thicker. So it's gonna look a little bit nicer if you have this kind of silhouette in a complex geometry. Do you see what I mean? But anyways, this is something really basic. Okay, so the homework is try to modify this version, not the other one, because this has more complete behavioral movements and everything. It's in the data folder, and start from here, add your attractor and repeller, and add some more controls, and make it into a small application and build. And you can use slider to control. And how do we import from Rhino, for example? Let me cover that. So in Rhino, maybe I'm gonna just use my model. I'm gonna use that. Where did I? I'm gonna find my model. Okay, I have a small house model like this, but I'm going to use just part of it. Let me just use. Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna still keep the person so we get the idea of some interesting scale. And make sure that if you want different colors and material, you need to separate them and apply as object material, not as layer material. Okay, so each of these objects, if you go of material, it knows which color it has. It's here. So blue, the object color should be applied, not as layer color. Okay. So you select all these separated things, file, export selected. And then there are two ways of doing it. You can export as OBJ or FBX. Will come to Unity. When you import FBX, make sure that you don't import cameras, because FBX exports the camera and lights from Rhino, but you don't need those. Okay, make sure you tick them off. All right, so house, let's say terrace. Then not polygon mesh, and let's make sure we export texture, vector color, open mesh, and make sure it comes with material. Where is the setting? But it's my set. By default, I always get the material file, so let's just hit OK. So now I have this terrace OBJ and MTL file. That's the material file. I'm gonna export the FBX as well. File, export selected, FBX, FBX. Huh? Above OB. Where is FBX? Right here. Motion builders. Okay. In FBX, Mesh only, export lights, no, export views, no, vertex normals, map Z to FBXY. That's actually good. So let's keep that. Okay. Let's see how to import model. So for this thing, I'm gonna just hide it or disable it. I'm gonna go to my assets folder and right click. I'm going to create a folder called model. And then I'm gonna test both. I'm gonna first import FBX and see how it looks. Import it. And you can see all the separated things. I want to make sure that I don't have camera and stuff. Okay, it looks correct. Import it, reset, F. It's pretty good. All came in with color information as well. So that's good. That can be one option. Let me delete this to show you the OBJ. When you import OBJ, you want to bring both together. And then now if I see this, it comes okay. So these are two ways of bringing your model. So that red means you, because I deleted the FBX as in the file. Is it okay, everybody? Okay, so I'm going to use this to replace my boxes, but the size is a problem. Size is not matching. So let's compare. So let's compare this model in 0, 0, 0 position. And in my OBJ prefab, I was using this brick, right? So I need to match around this size. So that was my brick. So if I aggregate this terrace, it's gonna be too big, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to right click, create empty, terrace in scale, and then make sure that this is empty, reset. And I'm going to child this under here. All right. And then make sure that it's around that size. I'm gonna make sure that this is looking good and the position wise as well. Okay. Oh, and it's actually pointing to Z. Remember, the up direction was Z. So I will have to flip this 90 degree. Z direction is the pointing direction of the velocity. Do you remember that? Okay, now I'm going to run this. Oh, now I'm going into a prefab, right? And then I'm going to delete this. I also don't need this one. In the void script, instead of brick, I'm gonna use this terrace. Are you okay? Okay. Then now if I play this, it has generated a bunch of floating. That's architecturally makes sense, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, and you can export this and do something. I think that's pretty interesting. So you wanna try different geometries. Okay. All right, once this is done, Control C and Control V, delete my component. This is my tower. Okay, and then I want you to record a video of turntable of this kind of objects. You remember how to record videos from last? I'm going to, so here, I'm going to set my camera, Shift Control F, have nice color of background and stuff. And then let's make a turntable script really simple. Add a component. Oh, let's add a script. Just go to script, right click, create, C# turntable. This is going to be really simple line. So in the tower script, hook this up here because then it's going to turntable the entire child. Double click. In the start, you don't even need to mention. In the update, you say this dot transform dot rotate as a behavior. And then new vector 3 and 0f. It's a y. We want to rotate from y. So 0. Is it correct? Let's see. 0. Okay. So let me. Oh. Let me remind myself. It's just a simple rotation. Okay, this is turntable. That's it. Transform, rotation. And you can actually see what you need by just typing 1, and then you see you need either a Euler or an axis and angle. So we are going to use this. So we are going to use new vector 3. The axis should be 0, 1, I believe. And then the rotation is 0.1. Let's see. Oh, because I have this voice. Okay, so I turned this off. And then it's too slow, so I'm gonna make that too many. Okay, I'm gonna make this number as a global variable. Public speed is 0.01 f, or let's start from 0. Public float speed, Control C and Control V. Okay, and then let's play this again. We don't need more. Okay, and then if I put the speed, it should rotate. Okay, it's not rotating this. This number should change according to, oh, it's not rotating from the center because they are not centered. So we need to move child, bring all of them and move this to center. A parent, because we want that parent as a center, rotate the turntable accordingly. So now this is the center. Match the camera. And then let's make sure that turntable works. Turntable. Where is that file? Right click. Oh, I closed it. Sorry. Turntable. So why is this not working? Only thing different was this. Let me see. Okay. Now I'm gonna delete this. Speed start from 0. Okay. If your speed is minus, it's gonna turn to the other side. And yeah, and you know how to record video. So for each object, make a good timing for a turntable is 15 seconds for a full 360 round. Don't make it too fast or too slow. 15 seconds full round. Basic principle for one turntable, okay? All right, let me see what's our homework for next. The tutorial wise, that's it. I wanted to cover most of the things. A tower. And yeah, interactiveness. Oh, also add something so we can actually create a line trail, then read the point positions in Grasshopper and make it into. We can do that later. Yeah, but today we just use the aggregation of same objects. Okay. Okay, so the goal is to have a tower or object generation application, yeah, with a slider to control the repellers. Okay, so you want to start from this script, add the repeller and attractor. Try. Okay, we will do that together in the next tutorial. Okay, and then I'm going to send out the list on the team to tell you what exactly are the homework. Okay, I might have missed something. If I remember it, I will just keep on checking the team. Okay, are you guys getting notification for team? Okay. All right, I think that's it for the tutorial part.